What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we are getting into the USFL. We got two things to talk about. We got some jerseys coming soon, and listen, the playoffs are moving, and I'm going to tell you where they're going. But if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, you know I love you. You know I love you coming back. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Now, you know I give you that thumbs up at the end of every video, and I'd appreciate it if you give me one down there as well. You know, all your likes and subscribe definitely help out the channel. And please leave your comments. Just comment right now, like right now. I would love that. And you know I respond. You know I love interacting with you guys. You have just... You have some amazing insight, and I do appreciate you giving me all those comments and coming up with that stuff, because sometimes you bring things up that I never even thought of before. So thank you for being an awesome community, and thank you for helping out the channel. Now, getting into the two things that we have for today. And sometimes it pays to be late with your video, because I was able to see this information come out on Twitter, and I hadn't made my video yet, so I don't have to make two videos. I can do two for the price of one, and that's right. You get two for the price of the one right here. And I'm talking about the uniforms. We're going to get uniform unveiled tomorrow on the 17th. So if you're watching this on the 16th, you're watching it on Wednesday night, we're going to get the uniforms unveiled tomorrow. That should be pretty exciting. You know, I'm excited about it. Hopefully you are. We'll see how well they are, how well they do. I'll give you my thoughts on each one of those, of course, and we'll dive into those. Yes, it is one. We've seen a couple of them in little snippets, but it'll be nice to get the full effect. I'm hoping they're going to do the helmets with the uniforms as well, and not just the jerseys. That would be nice to get the whole thing, because really, you know, seeing jerseys or just seeing helmets, one thing, but when you get to see the whole package, it really pulls things together, and sometimes it can take it from being mediocre to looking just amazing. So I'm excited about that. Now let's talk about the meat of the video for today, and that's all about the moving of the playoffs. And I know some of you might not be excited about this, but me, I am ecstatic about it. Why? Because listen, I could actually drive to a game. Most of these games all of the games are going to be played in Birmingham and at either Legion or Protective Field. And so with them now moving it to Canton, Ohio, it's literally within driving distance for me. And if they have ticket prices like that they were going to have in Birmingham at $10, man, that is a heck of a deal to watch some really, really good football teams go at it. Now, this all came about because the playoffs are supposed to be running from June 25th, and July 3rd is going to be the championship game. So obviously 4 teams down to 2 teams. That's how it's going to work. So you'd have 2 games, around that June 25th mark, and then you would have 1 game for the championship on the 3rd. But the problem is that the World Games are going to be started at Protective Field on the 7th of July. So they just felt like it wasn't enough time for them to prepare to go from, football stadium to kind of, track and field games type of a setting. And they just not enough time to get practices in, to get everything all set up and to do that. So they decided the best thing was to move to move the USFL, because, they had already previously, the city had already been in an agreement for the World Games. And I think that that's fantastic. If you ask me, I think that it's great all the way around. I think this is going to be a huge, huge win for the USFL. It gets them in another market, especially in Ohio. If you paid any attention to the XFL, one of the biggest markets was in Ohio. Ohio always had their biggest viewership, and I think that you will see people go out in droves. We love our football in Ohio, and we always want more. And I think Canton's a really nice atmosphere for them. It's not a large stadium, Tom Benson Stadium. It's not a very big stadium. It's 23,000 people at max. So roughly you're going to get about 20,000 people in there. But the nice thing is that you'll probably be able to pack the place with fans, get people in that place, get some excitement there. And listen, it's the Football Hall of Fame right there in Canton, where professional football started out with the Bulldogs. And so it's kind of and the NFL kind of uses it to start their season off, there with it. It's kind of cool to have everything there on hallowed ground right there in Canton. And so I think it's going to be a neat thing, and it could open up some opportunities for the USFL in Ohio. Like I said, I am excited about it because I'm somebody who lives in Ohio, from Ohio. I love football, and I can finally go to one of these games because a lot of this alternative football has just been, frankly, too far away from me to really, have an opportunity to travel without taking, some significant time off and missing out on a lot of things. Whereas this, I can really just, go and really have a nice experience, and be able to, enjoy some really fun football, go and to do that. So I'm excited about this. And two, I think that like I said, it's a win-win for them. It gets them out of Birmingham for a little while. It shows how, they can transition from one venue to another venue. It gets the players in a different place. It gets these teams in a different place. It gets a different set of eyes and a different community on, this spring football, this new football, because you have already all of the markets, kind of looking at it there, even though they don't have the teams, won't physically be in these markets. These markets have kind of already been, whether it be Houston, Pittsburgh, whatever. They're already kind of, tuned into this, whereas now bringing it into Ohio, and when you bring something into Ohio, I mean, you really are doing the whole state. It really doesn't matter if it's like, you get to just the big cities. When you come into Ohio, you really get the eyes of the whole state. And so I think that this is really, really good because no other alternative football, at least any large significance has really brought any professional football in there. So, I'm excited by it. I think that it's really going to work out really well for the USFL, and it might even lead to other things for them in the future. I think that this is a really cool venue. It's a smaller venue. If your league really does grow, it's going to be hard to have a championship game in such a limited space. But to have a game at the Pro Football Hall of Fame and have your championship there, that is pretty darn cool, if you ask me. And that's a way to start things off strong and finish your first inaugural season off just with a high note and with a bang right there at the Hall of Fame. As always, I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Think I'm crazy? Think I'm nuts? Let me know what you think of the upcoming, jerseys, what all we're going to get tomorrow. I'd like to know that as well. So let me know down in the comments what you think, and we'll continue the conversation on down there. All right, guys, listen, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.